if you are getting married and your plan is 100 guests, you can't just be dishing out invitations and be in sync with everybody. Mommy, daddy, everyone, let's have a meeting. We are working with 100 guests. Why? Because I have a budget that I don't intend to exceed. Because I want to have maximum fun and enjoyment. I want to make sure that all my guests are very, very well catered for. And if we exceed this guest size, I won't be able to cater for them. But if mommy says, oh, she's happy to cater for her own guests, okay. If daddy says they're happy to cater for their own guests, whatever the case may be, just make sure that you have a clear vision, you have a clear understanding of how many people are going to be at your wedding. Hello, my name is Moronke. Welcome to another episode of the planning series with Mo. Today is just going to be a question and answer section. I put up something on our Instagram page recently where I said if you have any questions, please ask. So I'm just going to be reading out just 3 questions and also answering them as well. And then we've had people come into our DMs to ask questions and all, and we'll be answering them. However, if you have your own questions or you have your own comments, please just slide into my DM or send me an email or just drop your questions in the comment section and we will answer them in any of our next videos. Okay, so the first question is from Karen Peters, and she says, how do you make all your guests satisfied, especially the food part? Because there are some guests you can never please. That's one question. And she's also asking that you know what, let me answer this before moving to the next. No, let me just read it now. And also, outdoor weddings, how do you negotiate space? Say a beach outdoor wedding. Okay, so I'll answer the first question. How do you make sure all guests are satisfied? One thing I would say is, as long as food is served on time, as long as the process is food is served on time, drinks are getting to them on time, souvenir gets to them on time, they won't be of much trouble. I'm sure they'll be very much satisfied. There's good music, getting to the venue, there isn't much traffic, or there's just, as long as the process is very, very easy. For example, say you have a church wedding finishes and then people are coming into the hall. For my own weddings, I always advise my clients that the moment people start entering the hall, let's start serving food. Because if we wait for people to fill the hall, everyone is coming from church at the same time. You're having 200 people, 300, 400 people coming from church at the same time. If you decide to delay before serving food, and then you have how many waiters, they'll serve this table of 10 people before serving those tables, serving this, serving that, the food process will be very slow and disorganized. So the moment they come in, you just have to have your own strategy to make it work. Have your strategy to make it work. When you're serving, make sure that something is going. If it's during the traditional wedding, for example, while they are seated, engaging in the whole engagement activity, they can't carry food now. You can always take small chops to them, take cocktails to them, take something, finger food, or just something that they can bite on parallel to the engagement reception itself, where they can have proper food and all of that. Then aside from that, souvenir is another thing that is a big thing in this country. If you can always, while distributing your invitation, you can include the souvenir, or while you're distributing your ashwebi, so at least you know that people that bought ashwebi from you are getting something. So while you're distributing your ashwebi, you can include the souvenir as well. So they already know that they already got their souvenir. So if at the wedding they're sharing souvenir and it doesn't get to them, they just know, last, we should have to use souvenir. I've seen souvenir with my ashwebi. So they will be satisfied. Then aside from that, your second question was outdoor wedding, how do you negotiate your space, especially a beach wedding? I'll first of all say that there are a whole lot of beach venues that give out their venues for events, and they already have their packages. They already have their packages. They already have options that you can select from. I know about Sensilio, also where Dekule will be his weddings. I know you can rent the space and then you can bring your own food, There's also Tropicana. There are a lot of other beaches. So if you're going to negotiate, it actually depends on the season. Most of them offer fixed rates. However, if you have a budget, who knows, you can go there and try and say, oh, this is what we have. um, how do we make it work? What can you do? How do we, if you are lucky enough and that they don't have enough traffic at that time, or maybe they need money for renovation, or there's something, you can be able to get a very good discount, you know. And then if you say you're not going to be using all every part of their facility, say you just want to use the beachfront and you don't intend to use their rooms, or you don't intend to use their kitchen, you can say, oh, I'm not using all these places, is there where you can take these places off, and then, you know, give me some sort of discounts. That way you're able to negotiate these venues. Then Ope K asked, controlling crowds at a Nigerian wedding. This should actually be an entire episode, but yeah, I'll try to make it small as possible. I believe once everyone is in sync, I mean both parents and the couple are in sync, you really won't have much problem. Most of the time when we have this type of problem is when maybe the mother or the dad is overexcited, they're inviting the whole church, they're inviting old girls college, they're inviting old university girls college and old primary school college. That way you have already counted 1,000 people from the bride's mother's friends. And then the bride is inviting this, and then before you know it, you have lost track of how many people you are even inviting to your wedding. You know, that way you have given an open invitation and you have lost track of the amount of people you intend to invite. If you are getting married and your plan is 100 guests, you can't just be dishing out invitations and, you know, be in sync with everybody. Mommy, daddy, everyone, let's have a meeting. We are working with 100 guests. Why? Because I have a budget that I don't intend to exceed. Because I want to have maximum fun and enjoyment. I want to make sure that all my guests are very, very well catered for. And if we exceed this guest size, I won't be able to cater for them. But if mommy says, oh, she's happy to cater for her own guests, okay. If daddy says they're happy to cater for their own guests, whatever the case may be, just make sure that you have a clear vision, you have a clear understanding of how many people are going to be at your wedding. So if you already have, if it already looks like a minimum of 1,000 people are coming, you know that, okay, you are making preparation for 1,500. You are using a venue that can seat at least 1,500 to 2,000 people. You are making provisions for food that will feed at least 1,500 or 2,000 people. Because there are some people that will eat 2 times. Aside from that, and then another thing is water. There's a way that water disappears at the event, and nobody has still been able to figure out the history or how it works, but it just disappears. So if you're having, say, 1,000 or 2,000 guests, I don't think you're bringing water for 30,000 people to start with. So yeah, controlling your crowd is very easy, as long as from the beginning you have it all figured out with the amount of people you are inviting. So have a meeting with bring everyone together, have a meeting with your parents, your husband's parents, your husband, and then come together and make them understand that you intend to have 100 guest size wedding because your budget can carry this. You want to ensure that your guests are well entertained and well catered for. And exceeding this guest size will mean more money. So if they say, oh, they're happy to cater for their guests, that's a plus for them. But just make sure that you are always on track with how many people you are going to have at your wedding. Make sure you're not just throwing invites everywhere on every WhatsApp group or everywhere or you go into church to display your wedding invitation and you and this person are getting married when your guest size is just 100 and then your church guest size is another 200 or something. You know, just make sure you're not doing all of that. The truth is that as long as you can get it right from the planning stage, you really won't have a problem with controlling crowd. The mistake a lot of people make is that they've invited so many people, they've done all they've sent 2 buses to the village to pack everybody for the wedding, and then last minute, you are trying to control the crowd. You are trying to say, oh, no, strictly by invitation. How? You have already given room for it, so it's just going to make you worse. Then aside from that, if it already looks like you're going to have, say, 1,000 guests, make sure you have provision for 1,500 people. There's food for 1,500 people, there's drinks for 1,500 people. The hall you are going to be using should sit at least between 1,500 to 2,000 people. That way, controlling the crowd is very, very easy. Having a crowded wedding is not a problem. As long as you are able to manage it properly, you won't have any issues. Moving forward, we have a DM from Farah Yakubo. I'd like to say quickly that Thank you to everyone that has dropped their questions. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm looking forward to more questions from my viewers, and I'm happy to answer them. Hello, good morning. Farah's message. Hello, good morning. I came across your article on Bella Nigeria, then your YouTube channel. You're doing an amazing job. Well done. Thank you, Farah. Please, could you talk or make a video on what a small wedding would cost, an average wedding, and a big wedding? Like the exact cost. I know it depends on your budget, but you have more knowledge on all this. People say it's rude to ask people how much they spend on their wedding, but we just want to have an idea of what to expect. So please, could you please make a video on this, please? I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, to be honest, I really cannot give you a specific figure on what a small wedding, an average wedding, or a big wedding will cost. Like you already said, it depends on your budget. However, I can say I can give a price range. I always tell people there is a wedding for every budget. If your budget is 0 naira, there's still a wedding for you. You can have your wedding in your living room with no charge. If your wedding budget is 200,000, you can go to church, get your blessing, and share packed food to people that you invite. If your wedding is just 500k, you can go to the court, sign, and then go to a restaurant with maybe just 50 people. They have dinner and everybody goes home. Or even with a 500k budget, you can still host a wedding at. You can host a wedding in your compound, somewhere. If you can get a venue free, and then just get food and drinks, ensure your guest size are no more than say 30 to 50 people, or even 60 thereabout. So like you already answered the question. I really cannot give you a specific amount on how much a small wedding, an average wedding, or a big wedding will charge. All I would say is there is a wedding for every budget. Thank you for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll also be looking out to more questions from you guys in the comment section. You can reach out to me on YouTube in the comment section, or Instagram, DM, comment section, or send me an email. You can just always bring in your questions. I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.